Philadelphia Eagles training camp is officially over, and the excitement for the start of the regular season couldn't be any higher, especially since multiple Eagles have put the NFL on notice during camp. And that includes a potential breakout star on the defensive line, a group of exciting young linebackers, several under-the-radar offensive weapons, and many more. So today, we're going to talk about 10 Philadelphia Eagles who impressed everyone at training camp. Plus, the Eagles also just made another unexpected trade, so we'll talk about that too. So let's get started right now. So we are obviously less than 2 weeks away from the Birds' season opener against the Dallas Cowboys on September 4th, where of course the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles will drop the banner and kick off the NFL season with a home NFC East matchup. So of course, the hype is at an all-time high for that, and personally I couldn't be any more excited, but I figured with training camp and preseason all coming to an end here over this past week, what better time than to look back and highlight some of the top standouts and most impressive players from Eagles training camp. But before we do that, we got some breaking news on Sunday morning that we got to go over, as the Philadelphia Eagles just made another very unexpected trade, this time going out and acquiring former Vikings, Seahawks, and of course Commanders quarterback Sam Howell, who, if you don't remember, back in 2023 when he was Washington's starter, he absolutely shredded the Eagles' disappointing defense in both those games, and now he's a Philadelphia Eagle himself, and again, I think it was unexpected, well, at least I didn't see it coming, but also it makes perfect sense, as the Birds' backup quarterback Tanner McKee is currently dealing with a finger injury, and we don't know if he's going to be back in time for the start of the regular season, and the Eagles' other two quarterbacks behind him, those being Kyle McCord and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, both looked pretty horrible in the preseason, if we're being honest. So they seemingly weren't comfortable with either one of those two guys being the quarterback number 3, and especially not the primary backup for week 1. So they went out and added a more proven backup caliber quarterback in Sam Howell for not too bad of a cost, as they sent one of their many draft picks next year and a 5th round pick and a 2027 7th rounder in exchange for Howell and a 2026 6th round pick. So overall, I think it's a solid trade just to get more depth at the quarterback position, which we know the Eagles value very highly. And again, I think Howell is a good backup. So overall, solid trade by the Birds. And also, side note, it's kind of funny that the Vikings signed Carson Wentz to replace Howell. I mean, think about that. That's just really ironic and funny. But now, finally, getting into the list of Eagles who impressed everybody during camp, let's start out with the guy who I think was possibly the biggest star in all of training camp for the Eagles in defensive tackle Moro Ojomo, as this is a guy who came into camp being projected as one of the Birds' biggest breakout candidates for this season, simply because last year he played a pretty limited role, yet he showed a lot of promise, as his analytical numbers were very good, including having the 2nd highest pass rush win rate among defensive tackles in the entire league. And if you just watch the tape, it's pretty clear that Ojomo has the potential to be a very good player. So now that he's set to step into a much bigger role this year, many people, including myself, have speculated that Ojomo's going to have an absolute breakout season. And again, based on what we've seen out of him during training camp, it seems like those predictions may end up being right, as Ojomo apparently looked really good in practice throughout all of camp, both as a run stopper and as a pass rusher. And not only did he seem to get better as camp went on, but he was pretty much making a standout play every single day at practice. I mean, he sacked Jalen Hurts quite a few times, possibly more than any other player during training camp. I also know he had a strip sack at one point. And overall, Ojomo just flashed that pass rush ability, that run stopping ability, and overall potential day in and day out throughout all of training camp. So I'd say all signs are still pointing to Moro Ojomo having a breakout season in 2025. And after camp, the hype for him is at an all-time high. Also, real quick, a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Chubbies. Chubbies is known for their shorts, swimwear, and a wide selection of other cool apparel, but they also have an awesome collection of officially licensed NFL gear, including merchandise for our very own Philadelphia Eagles. And that includes shorts, swimming trunks, and shirts in a few different styles. And they actually sent me their Eagles polo shirt, and I really like it. I mean, it's a very unique design, it's super comfortable, I like the material, it fits well, and, I could wear it out, I could wear it watching a game, or I could wear it recording these videos. And if you're an Eagles fan or just an NFL fan, then I'm sure you'll love their NFL collection too. And again, they also got a bunch of other cool stuff. And you can actually get $10 off using promo code PhillyFan21 at chubbyshorts.com/PhillyFan21. Again, that's code PhillyFan21 for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/PhillyFan21. And also, with George Kittle, Ian Rappaport, and others coming together to create the Chubbies League on NFL Fantasy, you have a chance to win some gear for free. Each week, the top 5 scorers will win a chance at a Chubbies polo and shorts combo with their team's logo. The grand champion gets the chance at the ultimate fan experience, a 5-city, 5-stadium NFL game tour with a +1. While the fantasy flop faces a hilarious and unforgettable punishment that only Chubbies could pull off. So head to chubbieshorts.com/thechubbiesleague to learn more and get ready for an awesome fantasy football experience. And again, you can get $10 off Chubbies apparel using code PhillyFan21 at chubbieshorts.com/PhillyFan21. And be sure to let them know that I sent you. And again, thank you to Chubbies for sponsoring today's video. Next up though, we have another guy on the defensive line in edge rusher Josh Uche. And this is a guy who we kind of didn't really know what the Eagles were getting or what to expect from him when he signed with Philly back in March. I mean, we knew Uche is a guy that has tremendous talent and ability, but most years of his career, he's just not really been able to put that all together. That is, with the exception of 2022, where he put up 11.5 sacks, which is by far his career high. And even since then, he's been a solid pass rusher, he just hasn't been able to put up the sack number. So it's clear that Uche is very capable of being an impact player for this Eagles defense. It's just a matter of, can he actually realize that potential? And while we won't exactly get that answer until a little bit later in the season, I think what Uche showed in training camp is definitely a step in the right direction. As after the first couple weeks or so, Uche really came alive and started to shine in practice as he got multiple sacks. He had a pancake on backup swing tackle Kendall Lamb at one point. He had good joint practices against the Browns, and he continued to get more and more first team reps as camp went on. And he seemed to earn the edge rusher number 3 spot right behind Nolan Smith and Jelix Hunt. And he also earned the praises of Eagles future Hall of Fame tackle Lane Johnson multiple times. So overall, I'd say it was definitely a good camp for Joshua Uche, and I'm really excited to see what he can do this season. But now, moving back a level in the Eagles defense, we have the rookie linebacker in Jihaad Campbell. And obviously, he's somebody who came into camp with a lot of hype surrounding him, simply because he was, of course, the Eagles' first-round pick this year, and the general belief was that Howie Roseman and the Birds got away with absolute robbery, being able to snag him at the 31st overall pick. And based on what we saw from him during training camp and the preseason, it seems like that belief was probably right, as throughout the summer, Campbell has earned the praise of his coaches and teammates, both for his freakish athleticism and also just for the plays that he's been able to make out on the field. I mean, Campbell's really done it all during camp, whether it's making plays against the run, breaking up passes in coverage, blitzing off the ball to sack the quarterback, or even rushing off the edge from time to time. I mean, it's clear that Campbell is a super versatile player with crazy potential, and he's another guy that got better as camp went on, and he was just able to get more comfortable in the defense. And Vic Fangio and the coaches seemed to like what they saw so much that by the end of camp, Campbell has seemingly earned the starting linebacker job next to Zach Bond to begin the season, which that's especially impressive since the Eagles had other linebackers that also performed very well during camp. Speaking of which, that'll bring us to our next guy in Jeremiah Trotter Jr., as he's a guy who, sure, he doesn't have the freakish athleticism of a guy like Jihaad Campbell, and he's likely not one to jump out at you and make all these big highlight plays all the time, but what he is and what he repeatedly proved to be over the summer, both in camp and during the preseason, is just a very consistent, very smart player that understands the game incredibly well. He knows where he needs to be and what his job entails playing that inside linebacker position, and he's consistently able to just put himself in situations to make plays, whether that's making tackles against the run, which we saw him do nonstop during camp in the preseason, or it's breaking up passes in coverage, or it's just rallying to the ball carrier and making a nice, solid tackle. I mean, again, Trotter's likely not going to wow you too often. He's not really going to jump off your screen too much, but I think he's just a very solid NFL linebacker. And if his number is called at any point in the season, I'm going to have full confidence in Trot to step in and get the job done. Moving on though, we're not done at the linebacker position, as the rookie Smael Mondon Jr. also had a very good camp, as he's your prototypical run and hit linebacker that just flies to the ball carrier and is able to make tackles. He also has great athleticism, he's got some ability in coverage, and coming out of Georgia, it was definitely clear that there was a possibility that Mondon could develop into a solid NFL player. And again, he showed that during Eagles training camp and in the preseason, as he flashed some good run-stopping ability. Again, his ability to just rally to the ball and make a tackle was definitely on display, and he also had some nice moments in coverage. And I would say his best moment was definitely that second preseason game against the Browns, where Mondon recorded 4 tackles and a tackle for loss. So overall, again, it was a really impressive summer for Mondon and just the Eagles' entire linebacker group as a whole. Next up, though, we have star cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, and man, as crazy as it is to say this with just how locked down Q was in his rookie season, I think we're going to see him get even better in his sophomore year, because Q was absolutely balling out and locking guys down all training camp long. And mind you, this is against some of the NFL's best wide receivers in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but Q consistently held his own against both of those guys, according to reports. And on top of this, Mitchell also worked on both sides of the field throughout camp, which is a clear indicator that the Eagles may actually have him travel in some games with the other team's best receivers, so that'll definitely be exciting. And apparently, he did very well playing on both sides during camp. And then in addition to that, Q seems to have improved his hands over the offseason as well, as after dropping a bunch of interceptions in his rookie season, Mitchell had 2 picks during training camp this year, and he also revealed at one point that he's really placed an emphasis on getting better just catching the football. So, maybe this season we will see Q convert on a few more of those interception opportunities than he did last year. And again, overall, it was just a great training camp for Quinyon Mitchell, and I'm definitely expecting him to make some sort of leap forward in his game this season. But now, switching over to the offensive side of the ball, we got to talk about the biggest surprise of all the Eagles training camp, that being undrafted rookie wide receiver Darius Cooper. As Cooper absolutely came out of nowhere this summer and started making plays day in and day out during practice. And slowly but surely, he started getting more and more opportunities, and he continued to make the most of them. I mean, his most memorable moment was easily that first preseason game against the Bengals, where Cooper racked up 6 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown in rather impressive fashion. But from there, he just continued to impress. I mean, he started to get some first-team reps during practice, and again, he made plays in those opportunities. And when camp was all said and done, Cooper had seemingly earned himself a roster spot against all odds. So, obviously, we'll have to wait to get the official word on it, but no matter how it goes, it was just an incredible camp and an incredible story for Darius Cooper. And, I'm definitely hoping he made the roster. Obviously, like I said, I think he already did, but we'll have to wait and get the official word on Tuesday. Moving on, though, Cooper isn't the only receiver who really impressed during Eagles camp, as Philly's starting wide receiver 3 in Jahan Dotson had a standout summer as well, as he consistently showed up and made nice plays during practice. There were multiple reported instances where he beat either Quinyon Mitchell or Trotter Jr to get open. He also made several contested catches, he scored touchdowns, and overall, most importantly, Dotson just really seemed to grow in his connection with Jalen Hurts and just get comfortable in the offense, which going back to last year, I mean, the whole reason Dotson was pretty much a non-factor the entirety of the regular season is that he just never really got the time to get comfortable in the Eagles offense or to build chemistry with Jalen Hurts, since of course he was traded to Philly right before the start of the regular season. So now he's had that entire offseason with Jalen Hurts and the guys, and again, based on what we heard during training camp, it sounds like that's been paying off. So personally, I'm excited about Dotson and think he's going to have a significantly better year than he did last year. And I also feel the same way about backup running back Will Shipley, as like I talked about in a recent video, he also has had a really nice training camp, as he flashed both running the football, but especially as a receiver out of the backfield, as he consistently made plays catching the football all camp long. And he might just be the best receiving back that the Birds have, which we know that's something the Eagles like from their backup running backs. And also, based on what Shipley's teammates have said about him during camp, he's apparently an extremely smart player as well, and he seems to clearly have established himself as this team's running back too with what he did in training camp. So again, I'm excited about him, and I think he can make an impact for the Birds offense this year. But then moving on, I also got to mention right guard Tyler Steen, as coming into training camp, there were rumblings that maybe there could still be a competition for that starting right guard spot, but Steen shut those down pretty much right away, as he got better and better with each practice. And by the time it was all said and done, Tyler Steen had completely ran away with the starting right guard job. So it was definitely a very good training camp for him. And there you have it. Those are my 10 picks for the Eagles who impressed everybody during training camp. There's certainly a few more guys that I could have included on this list, such as Trotter Jr, who was obviously playing 3 positions throughout camp, which is super impressive. So I'll say he's an honorable mention, but I wanted to keep it down to 10 guys. And that said, you guys give me your list down in the comment below. Who are 10 Eagles who impressed you during training camp? And also, while you're at it, obviously, we're about to get into the regular season here. We got roster cuts in just a couple days, so if you don't want to miss any coverage on any of that, make sure you guys subscribe and you turn on notifications, and also leave a like down below to show some support, because it really does help me out a ton. And also, check out Chubby's. The link will be down in the description. And if you do want to watch another Eagles video going over their last and final preseason game versus the Jets and other storylines, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.